people, on this Tuesday morning.
Tuesday.
Last day in January of 2023.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Weird. Anyway, all the stuff that you have seen that God has done, there is no other explanation. Let's talk about that. 5 minutes with Frankie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, calm down.
Good morning, beautiful people. This is Frankie, and you're on 5 Minutes with Frankie.
Wow.
That's about all I gotta say. Anyway,
That was deep.
so the things that I've seen that there is no other explanation. First of all,
Frankie Swicky getting married.
that is true.
Just kidding.
Frank Swicky getting married to Katie Watkins.
Just kidding.
That was a miracle in and of itself. She didn't know what she was getting into.
True that.
The second thing is the most ugliest, beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And that is birth. Katie could attest to that too. So, the birth of my 2 children, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. I mean, just think about it. 1,000,000 to 1 chance of me getting Island Andrew.
Yep.
I mean, that is a miracle in and of itself. That is a God thing. If there is not any other miracle that you can attest to, a higher power or God, is that picking your children out of 1,000,000. And I don't know, they're wonderful in their own aspect. Seeing a hardened man or a hardened criminal change drastically from a hateful, spiteful person to a loving, caring, and hugging and crying person. There's no way to explain that except if it's God. I've seen, people where it was a horrible, horrible accident and they walk away from it. I mean, just with minimal scratches. And they could have been dead, split apart, hurt, dead, but they walked away. I've seen, people on their deathbeds just opening their eyes to seeing things that they knew they were going to heaven. I mean, it was just, there's no other explanation. Leaving, in my head, quote unquote, late. And
Oh, yeah.
if I was even a minute off, I would have been in that accident.
See, there's a reason why I'm late sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good excuse. But there are certain things in my life that there is absolutely no explanation. And science can't dictate it. Only faith in God can even explain any of it. Yeah, now science can explain birth and explain this and that and this and that. But if you get down really to it, even though we know some of that explanation, it is still a miracle. It is definitely something that is unexplainable to a certain point. And we always go back to, where did that start? Where did that start? Where did that start? And ultimately, you'll have to come back to an intelligent designer or God. And so in Deuteronomy 29, verse 2, this is the end of Deuteronomy. Remember, Moses is giving more detail to the law. He's teaching the generation after the 40 years of the desert, in the wilderness, and they're going into the promised land, and he's saying, here's the law again. I'm going to repeat it, and I'm going to give you more detail, because 9 times out of 10, us humans forget. And so he's saying to them, hey, you have seen miracles. Don't lose your trust in God. And here we go. Ready? Moses summoned all the Israelites and said to them, you have seen with your own eyes everything the Lord did in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to the whole country. Now, if you've seen God move that great, a pillar of fire, a cloud during the day, walking on dry land, feeding the millions of people that were in the wilderness with manna, with giving them water when they wanted it, when things were at despair, God stepped in and saved them. You've seen all these miracles and all these wonders and all these things that God has done. Don't lose faith. And what do? They step in the promised land and they forget God, or they forget his commandments, or they make up other commands that go with his commands. And it just repeats over and over again. If we've seen all these miracles in our life about God, why are we not obeying him? He is miraculous, wonderful, power, almighty, and he wants to be in our lives personally and with us and love us. So my challenge for you today is, what have you really seen God do? And why aren't you maturing or going forward with him? I love you. Jesus loves you. You have a great Tuesday.
202 tonight.
202 tonight, 5:30, here at the church building. 202. It is deep stuff. We're going into the Lord's Prayer, deeper than just reading it over and over again. I love you, bud. That was like 6 minutes.
I think it was long too.